Hello everybody, we thought we'd do a quick tasting video for you. We have 5 beers here from Sixpoint Brewery out of Brooklyn. How we came to have these beers is we were down at the ale house in Vestal, go to the ale house, and drinking some beers with my friend Jason, who's in the Marines, who's an avid home brewer, started home brewing. And through the evening I started checking in on my beers on Untapped, a social media program for beer lovers, beer geeks, and they posted Twitter. So I got a reply back from Sixpoint Brewery asking how the beers were and said they enjoyed them greatly, and we got talking back and forth, and they started asking about Blackheart Brewery, and they suggested we trade some beers. So through email I said we'd have some after the holidays, and they said they'd go first. So 2 days later I got home from the ale house again, and I had a couple beers waiting for me. So I have Spice of Life, which is an IPA, Bengali Tiger, another IPA, the Cranberry Porter, Diesel, which is a very hoppy stout, and then Old Crusher, an American barley wine. So up first is the Spice of Life. First beer we're done with. Just to let you know, I'm not doing this tasting alone. We also have Drew and Brett here with us, so I'm not going to be drinking all of this by myself. So the first one, very interesting, complex hop taste to it. None of that metallic tinny taste you get sometimes from over hopping, but a whole bunch of hop aroma and flavor. Sort of like a vegetative, but not in a negative way. Almost minty taste to it, some spice, very earthy, really clean flavored, good beer. Really enjoyed that one. Alright, so up next we have the Bengali Tiger IPA. This one I have had before as well as the Diesel. Alright, so we're done with the Bengali Tiger. It's much different than the Spice of Life, much more malt to it, but very piney, earthy, citrusy, resiny, just a whole lot of flavor, much heavier, more viscous. It's not as refreshing, nothing bad about that, just much more weight to it. So this is, I think, Sixpoint's most popular beer, and I can see why. So up next is the Cranberry Porter. This is part of their Mad Scientist series. It's something where they only brew it once, and then I think it comes from the ideas from the people in the brewery. So this is Mad Scientist series number 7. Alright, so we're all done with the Cranberry Porter here. It's very good, very complex. Lots of interesting flavors. The cranberry kind of replaces the hops in sort of like a very hoppy porter would be, so it's very cutting, very drying. It's very similar to a lot of white roast coffees that I like that have very parallel flavors of like cocoa and stone fruit. So it's not like a lot of fruit beers that you have that are just too syrupy, too thick, too overpowering. This one you could sit down and actually have a couple. So it's not just like a one-trick pony of, oh, we used a fruit in a beer. It's very drinkable. So I like this one a lot. It's unfortunately not something I've seen available, but if I ever get the chance to, I will definitely have it again. Up next is the Diesel Stout. Alright, so we are all done tasting the Diesel. It's much heavier than the other ones, full of full flavored, full mouthfeel, very piney tasting, which is unusual for a stout. Reminds me of a black IPA, or whatever form of that you wish to call the style. Very interesting, very good. Something very different from other stouts that I've had before. I've enjoyed this one before. I've had it number of times, even at the ale house and such. So I would definitely get it again and highly recommend it. Alright, up last we have the Old Crusher Barley Wine. This was the one I was most looking forward to, as barley wines are my favorite style of beer. Smell that already. Alright, so we are all finished with the Old Crusher Barley Wine. This beer is fantastic. First sip, right off the bat, was huge toffee bomb. Just delicious, very rich caramel, much like a dessert. It's a very like a buttercream cupcake taste to it. So I really like this one. Obviously, kind of playing with a loaded deck, saying barley wines are my favorite kind of beer, but this one is a fantastic version of one. So that just about wraps it up for our tasting video. I'd like to give a big shout out and thanks to Shane for sending this to us. As soon as we brew something, I will definitely be shipping it to the brewery. We won't be able to have as many varieties, but we will send what we can. So until next time, go enjoy some beer. Cheers. My boy Drew.